children of Israel, and that's their main enemy. Okay, because when you're talking about the major threats to this society, the major threats to this society is the word of Yahweh Shemi Shai going out, and the tents of Israel being raised up. Okay, the tabernacles of David being raised up to the end of what? That the Lord was going to come and deliver them. But remember, when you go into the scripture says that what? That the Most High told the angel to hold back the 4 angels. Okay, that was the 4. Was it the 4 angels or the 4 winds? Okay, on the 4 corners of the earth. All right, to say what? To have it to where a war don't come out here till the elect be sealed. So the main thing that we're waiting for out here is that the elect be sealed. But guess what? This word is going out here like hot fire, man. It's either the elect is already sealed, okay, or it's very close to being sealed, because you got access to this information 24/7 now. Okay, you can go on the internet and watch the videos all day and all night, and guess what? That's a fulfillment of prophecy, because the scripture says, according to prophecy, that what? That the word of the Most High, when the time of the end was going to come, you was going to have it where the word was going to be accessible 24 hours a day. And guess what medium that the Lord was going to use to do that? The thing of the internet, man. Okay, the servers, the connectivity, the fiber optics, those were all things that was going to be pulled out of the ground when the Most High sends his son. Okay, but guess what? Right now, those are tools that the Lord was going to use to push this word. Okay, and if you go into the history on the internet, well, guess what the word that was first message that was sent over the internet was? It was low. Okay, which calls to mind the scriptures. All right, so that goes to show you that the Most High set that whole thing up in motion. Now, I don't know how true that story is, but what they push out there in the media is that pretty much the first thing that they sent out there was low, and that makes you like what? Like behold, okay, or this is the time of the end. Okay, so going back here within the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, and this is the 4th verse. It says, "Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, okay, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, power to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, and the desolate wastes, okay, which have become a prey and a derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about." Okay? "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against Idumea, and I have appointed, which have appointed my land into their possession, and with the joy of all their heart." And the Most High has spoken up against Idumea. That's one of the main nations, because that goes to show you, this scripture goes to show you the people that are in the land of Israel right now are Edomites, man. Okay? That goes to show you that. All right? Let me read that again. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of their heart, with their despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." Now let's go into the book of Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, and then I'm going to go into the book of Revelations 3 and 9, or 2 and 9, whichever I flick to first. So this is the book of Maccabees, 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. Okay, the book of Maccabees, the book of 1 Maccabees 3 and 48, it says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen sought to paint their own likeness of their images." So they went up into our land, and basically they took on our identity. That's why they started calling themselves the Jews, okay, and they observed none of the laws, but they started calling themselves the Israelites, and so on and so forth. Okay, the book of Revelations 2 and 9, okay, and then I don't need to go to 3 and 9. Okay, all right. Revelations 2 and 9 says, "I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan." Now ultimately that's talking about fellow Israelites, but guess what? That could be applied to speak about the Idumeans, the Edomites that are in the land of Israel right now. That have taken what? That have taken on the identity of the Israelites, the real Israelites. Okay, so now let me go into I believe I want to be in the book of Jeremiah. Okay, one of these books of Jeremiah. Not that one. Okay, so at Jeremiah 49:7 it says, concerning Edom, right, thus saith the Lord, is there no more wisdom in Teman? Okay, and another principal city within Edom. Okay, is counsel perished from the prudent? Is the wisdom is there is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep in the inhabitants of all the Dan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him. All right, in the time that I will visit him. Remember the Lord, when the Lord said he wasn't going to meet thee as a man anymore. Okay, he was going to come in his celestial form. Okay, matter of fact, when you go into the first precept, where I was talking about the Lord being coming to avenge his people. Well, guess what? One of the main things that the scripture was speaking about. We weren't speaking about. One of the main things the scripture says that what he was going to come and bring calamities upon Idumea. Okay, or Edom. Okay, so the Most High has got a great judgment coming from Edom, and one of the main things that he's coming with a great judgment for is that they've gone into the land of the Lord and called it theirs, man. They've stolen that land. You go to where they're fighting over the Palestinians of control of that land, but both of them don't belong in that land, because when you go into the word Palestinian, it comes from the word Philistine, man. Okay, see, they don't tell you about that on the news, but the word Palestine goes into the word Philistine. And the word Philistine goes back onto the children of Ham, man. So even the children of Ham, which used to inhabit that land, okay, Tyre, Zidon, and so on and so forth, those were Hamitic nations, man. Dark-skinned Hamitic nations, okay, that was later pushed out of that land. But the reality of the situation is both of them, they don't belong in that particular land. All right? Which Canaan, he wouldn't look like no Edomite, man. Canaan was a dark-skinned people. Those were the people that we used to live in the land of Israel, that was later pushed southward, okay, when we took over the land of Israel, because really that belonged unto us. That was the Lord. That Lord said that was our possession. Now you go to where you go Idumeans and Arabs fighting over that land between the so-called Palestinians and the Israelis. But both of them, they don't belong there. Okay, so going back into the book of Jeremiah 49:8, it says 49:8, it says, flee ye, turn back, okay, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the Dan, for I'll bring calamities of Esau upon him, right? The time I'll visit him. Okay, continuing. If great gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If teased by night, they will destroy until they had enough. But I have made Esau bare, and I've uncovered his secret places. And that's really dealing with the times that we're living in right now. See, the scripture talks about how the Most High revealed the mysteries of the scriptures unto his prophets. But one of the other things that was revealed unto the prophets is the thing of Freemasonry, the thing of the Illuminati. That was revealed unto the prophets of the Lord to the end that what? The prophecies may come to pass, man. Okay, the Lord has made the things that Esau bear. See, they had a great power, okay, structure when they was dealing with their secrecy. But see, now everything is been put out on the forefront. Okay, everything is obvious now. But see, you can't hide anything right now because you got the thing of the internet, and the internet is going to have it to where everything is going to be exposed. And the secret so-called societies that Esau had set up to conquer the world, okay, to conquer the children of Israel, okay, to conquer the so-called, and they was going to conquer the children of Israel through the music. All right, so the thing of the music industry, that's being exposed, man. All right, the thing of the movie industry, that's being exposed. How a lot of these so-called movies that you be sending your kids to watch are heavily influenced by what? Is heavily influenced by witchcraft, man. Okay, so all of those things are being exposed right now, and one of the major proponents of all of those things being exposed is that you're gonna have the men of the Lord out here exposing those, doing the expose, so to speak. But you go to where you got truthers, so-called truthers within Esau's own community that expose the industry. Okay, so the things of Esau are being made bad. Okay, so it says that Jeremiah 49 and 10, it says, but I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, okay, which is the children of Israel, and his brethren and his neighbors is not. Okay, so it goes into something else, but that proves that's all I need on that particular precept. So now back within the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, and this is now this 6th verse. So it says there, prophecy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I have spoken in the fire, in my jealousy, and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. And what's one of the shame of the heathen? You got Tel Aviv doing, rainbow, they're doing what, rainbow parades, man. Okay, extrapolate what I mean by that. Okay, they're doing all kind of, they got kosher pig up in that place. So the land of Israel right now is born the shame of the heathen. Okay, but guess what the Lord's going to do? The Lord's going to have it to where it's going to be clean, dissolved, man. All right, here it is. You got Esau. He set up his so-called dainty things, okay, and his palaces and his houses over there. His name, you got Rothschild Boulevard within the land of Israel. So his name rose within the land of Israel after himself. But guess what? The Most High was going to do away with all of that. The scripture says that the elements shall melt with a fervent heat. That's within the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. Okay, 2 Peter 3. Okay, 2 Peter 3, starting at 2 Peter 3. And 11, 2 Peter 3 and 11 says, seeing then all these things shall be burnt, shall be dissolved rather. Okay, what manner of persons ought you ought to be in holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming day of the Lord, of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with a fervent heat. So everything that Esau has built up, that's gonna be burnt, man. Okay, they ain't gonna be left standing forever and ever and ever. That's got a time span, a time limit, so you can understand. And when you go into the scriptures, pretty much you find out the same thing. How did the Most High set up his bounds that he cannot pass? Okay, so he's got a time limit on his rulership. All right, he wasn't gonna rule forever, but as much as you would like to believe it, because they make movies and they'll have movies, okay, of set 1,000 years from now, and it's still Edomite rule. Okay, but you can check out one thing you notice from those so-called futuristic movies is very minimal Jacob in those movies, man. What they're trying to show you? They're trying to show you that when they set up their so-called future, which they set their future up today, they're really looking to get rid of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. Okay? So, Ezekiel 36 and 7, it says, therefore thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, I have lifted up my land, I have lifted up mine hand. Surely the heathen that are round about you, they shall bear their shame. And they're going to bear their shame by way of the ICBM nuclear fire. Matter of fact, the scripture says that what? That the other nations are going to know when Babylon's going to be burnt. Okay? They're going to know about it. All right? Because they're going to see the smoke of a burning from afar off. Standing afar off of it. So, 8th verse, it says, but ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth branches, and ye shall yield your fruit for my people Israel. And that's another prophecy that goes to show you that what? That the people that are within the land of Israel right now, that's not the true people of the Most High, because the land ain't bearing fruit. Okay, it's barren, so you can understand. All right, it's a barren land, and they're gonna get what's known as kibbutz, right? Meaning they're gonna import all kind of fruit and vegetables up into that land. Excuse me. All right, so continuing, it says there, but ye mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit for my people Israel, for they are at hand to come. All right, and one of the major things that is gonna happen, remember the land is defiled, man. Okay, here it is. You got it to where Israelite blood was spilled out there within the land of Israel. You're talking about the Romans coming in, the Romans coming up against the land of Israel, and they spilled blood. Okay, they spilled the Lord's blood within the land, so the land is defiled. And when you go into the book of Numbers, it said they cannot be cleansed lest the one that shed blood, his blood fall upon the land. So guess what's going to happen? The Most High is going to create fertilizer. The land. I'm never scared, don't worry.
Oh. What, you filming?
Myself.
And me? We'll stop him.
And you.
We'll stop him too.
Alright, you take care. Well, pretty much the Lord's going to create what's known as fertilizer out of those so-called Jews that are in the land out there, man. Okay, and the land's going to bring forth fruit, and it's going to be what? It's going to make it to where It's gonna be a magnificent land, man. Okay, it's going to be beautiful again. It's going to be a garden eastward in Eden. Okay, in fact, the whole earth is going to be revitalized because it's going to be under new management. All right, you're going to have land Sabbaths. You're going to have it to where you got police, policemen. You're going to have it to where people are going and they can go into areas and be safe. Okay, you're gonna have it to where you can go into certain particular areas and where there's supposed to be vegetation, there's gonna be fruit, veg, whatever. You ain't gonna have it to where you got GMO this and GMO that. The land is gonna be just beautiful, man. Okay, so it's gonna be Eden, like the whole earth is gonna be Eden again. But he's gonna have a garden eastward in Eden that's gonna be more like the top line above everything, and that's gonna be the land of Israel, man. Okay, so continuing, it says what? So 9th verse, it says, "For behold, I am for thee, and I'll turn unto you, and ye shall be tilled, and ye shall be sown." And that's when we're gonna return unto that land, and we're gonna be tilling, we're gonna be sowing. Okay, we're gonna be doing all kind of beautiful things up into there, man. Okay. Continuing, a 10th verse, "And I'll multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel, even all of it, and the cities shall be inhabited, and the way shall be built." Okay, continuing, "And I'll multiply upon you man and beast, and I shall increase and bring fruit, and I will settle you right after your old estate." So when we had our forefathers, you had the house of, you had different houses, man. Okay, after our father's surnames, just like how you had the man Israel and you had the whole estate. His estate was the land of Israel. You also had the estate of Reuben. Okay, you also had the estate of Gad and so on and so forth. So the Most High was going to re-establish those estates. Okay, so let me just jump into Amos the 9th chapter and get a precept upon that. So this is the book of Amos, the 9th chapter. And this is the 8th verse. So it says, "For behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom." So that's society. That's the society that we're living in right now. And you check out the main things that are advocated and pushed. Ain't nothing but folly and madness and wickedness. Okay, so the Most High, He's recording all of these things by way of the angels. Okay, the messages of the Lord. Okay, and it says, "And I'll destroy it from off the face of the earth." Right, saving utterly, I will not destroy the house of Jacob. Okay, for lo, I'll command and I'll sift the house of Israel from among all nations. Now let's see what the scripture said there, and that's the tone of what we're going for here. Okay, we're seeing that what the salvation of the children of Israel is coupled with the destruction of this place. You okay then, mate? Right, you know what this sign is? You understand it? Okay, so these are the children of Israel. Okay, you know who the children of Israel are today? According to biblical prophecy, the children of Israel was going to go into slavery by way of slave ships. Okay, that's according to the scriptures. So when you go into the scriptures, you find out Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, predominantly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was going to go into slavery by way of slave ships. That's Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and the 68th verse. Now, after they had gone into the captivity, the slavery, it was going to be an event called World War III, when all of these 12 tribes are going to be returned back into their own land. Because the people that are within the land of Israel right now, according to biblical prophecy, they're not the children of Israel. Now, according to the Balfour Declaration of 1964 or whatever, they're the children of Israel and they possess that land. But according to the prophecy and to the law of God, the God that made the earth, they're not the real Israelites, and neither does that land belong unto them. So this thing of World War III is going to put these rightful, the people that you got on this sign here, in their rightful place. Does that make sense to you? Okay?
I'm not that knowledgeable.
Well, you got it. Well, true biblical knowledge is the division between boys and men. Okay, if you don't know what's going on in the Bible, basically you don't know nothing, because you can go to a job, make £1 million, and tomorrow World War III is gonna pop loose. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly what's gonna happen. This is what you're seeing on this sign over here. Okay, you know what this is? This is an image, okay, of the beast that's spoken about within the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter. okay, and the woman that sits on the beast. Now, this wasn't an actual beast. It was a metaphorical speech, okay? Now, when you check out what this metaphorical speech is, when you apply the prophetic understanding to it, you find out that beast is NATO, okay? NATO, by way of the Treaty of Rome, okay, aligned themselves to make up what? The French, the Spanish, the Germans, Britain, and so on and so forth, right? Or which Britain wants to leave the EU or whatever, but it's still a NATO nation. And who controls the NATO nations? The woman that sits on the beast, which that woman is America. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the beast was going to be destroyed. The beast was going to be destroyed by the conquering lion of Judah, okay? And the new society was going to be raised up and established within the earth, okay? Of which, guess what? One of the first protocols of the conquering lion of Judah is going to do. He's going to put a lot of people into slavery, man. Okay, so your people, okay, the Ammonites, which are the Japanese, the Chinese, they're all going to go into slavery underneath this people, which is going to be righteous, poetic justice. Okay, because these people has been underneath your rulership, and many other people are like underneath them as slaves. So now the Most High is going to put your people and other people into slavery to balance the scales of justice up.
This is all after the second coming.
This is the second coming. That's what the second coming is all about. The second coming was all about transfer of power. Transfer of power from NATO and America to the Israelites. That's what the second coming was all about. The second coming wasn't about making everybody happy, man. It was about making the children of Israel happy. And making the children of Israel happy was all about what? Making it to where, because they was in slavery, they was going to put their enemies in slavery. You see what I'm saying? So you had the transatlantic slave trade. Well, guess what? The slave masters of the transatlantic slave trade, they was going to go into slavery. That's what the second coming was all about. Justice, balance. Okay,